Hello and welcome to episode 35 of the Fireside Fantasy and Sci-Fi podcast. This episode, I want to do more podcasty kind of style. Our last several episodes have been really like YouTube focused and, trying to be like real specific, but I miss doing it the more banter way where we just, have more of a flow to the conversation in podcasty style. So I'm trying to lean back into that. This episode is kind of a filler episode in a way because we were supposed to get together on either reading the Stormlight archive chapters that have come out from Wind and Truth,
right?
Or we were going to do a recap on what we've read so far on the Dark Tower, the last book of the Dark Tower series. And we're kind of in opposite places. I think I'm ahead of you in the Dark Tower, but you're ahead of me in Wind and Truth. So we can't really, we can't really do either episode yet.
No.
So I have a better chance of catching up with you on the 4 chapters that have come out on Wind and Truth. I need to just
6.
read that. 6 now? Oh my God.
Yeah, it'll be 8 by Monday.
At this point, I just need to wait on the book to come out, right? Like this is I'm getting too far behind to do this. But anyway, so I'm just too engrossed in the Dark Tower. I'm just too into what's going on there.
Yeah, because a lot starts happening, right?
Yeah,
where we are.
I'm right at the place where things are starting to happen. So anyway, we will do an episode on that shortly. But this episode, I think the main title segment is going to be Akinator versus ChatGPT. So we're going to play a game where, if you've never heard of Akinator, it's a website where it basically is like 20 questions. Like it'll ask you questions and try to guess the character that you have in mind. And it does it by going through it. It has access to like some sort of fan Wikipedias or something. And it's not AI in the sense that we think of AI. It's much older than that, but it's really good. It's really good at guessing your character. Now, in 2024, in the age of ChatGPT and actual AI, I thought we could like do a head-to-head competition where we'll ask both, try to see who can solve in the least amount of questions who the character is.
Who the character is.
Yeah, and it'll be fun to do because we can pick characters from the Dark Tower or from, we'll try
from
to...
anywhere.
Yeah, anywhere, anything. There is a limitation. ChatGPT is limited to like 2019 or something. Like I don't know what the year is, but it's actually not. I don't think it's up to present day. I think it only has a certain date range of data that it knows. But I think if you pick a character within that date range, I think ChatGPT will be better at coming up with questions to try to narrow it down. Versus Akinator has to go through the same questions until it gets it.
Right.
So that'll be an interesting game. But before that, King's been out here tweeting some things. Stephen King has been hinting that he's
of Dark Tower.
Yeah, he's getting the call of the Ka. What's going on with this? You think we're gonna get another Dark Tower book?
Right. I mean, what else could it mean? Like over the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. He's tweeted or X'd, whatever you call it now.
Yeah, excretions. He's excreted.
He's excreting like Jake and Oi. There's been the Crimson King street sign.
Yeah.
He's tweeted like
the first one on
picture of Roland.
Oh, I didn't see the picture of Roland. On August 14th, he said, "Midworld is still there. The tower still stands."
Yes.
Which is ominous, of course. I don't know. I don't know if this... I mean, it's probably not uncommon for him to tweet about the Dark Tower, but to do it in such a frequency, just in the matter of like 2 weeks or so...
Right.
Maybe this is a clue that there's going to be another side story, like another Went Through the Keyhole type thing.
So, the thing I was looking at was Stephen King reposted. It was August 13, and it's Roland's Twitter.
Oh,
so who knew
Roland
had a Twitter
Roland has
account.
a Twitter. Okay.
But it's a picture of Roland. It says there are no endings, only new beginnings.
Yeah.
Retweeted that. So like,
how long does Stephen King think he's going to be alive? Does he think he can write like a whole nother Dark Tower? Like I don't know.
I mean, obviously, like like it's his,
He
Lord of the Rings, whatever. Like it's his
yeah.
big thing. So like,
How
and
let's see. I'm gonna see how old is Stephen King. I'm about to ask
I think he's
ChatGPT
like
that.
77, I believe, something like that.
I mean, how long he wouldn't be? I don't think he would be posting. He wouldn't come out and say he was writing another Dark Tower book unless he basically had like
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
outlined
it would
like
be written pretty
yeah,
much already. Yeah.
right, exactly. And I'm not saying that's what he's doing, but it just seems odd that he's drawing attention to this. Maybe there's something with the Amazon series. Like maybe
Who knows?
there's some news that's going to come out pretty soon
Right.
about that. Because I know that's
Hey,
a big
that's
thing.
a good
that
thought too. Maybe it's not a book. Maybe it's
Yeah.
about the TV show.
Yeah,
Uh,
Flanagan, the guy. Well, I can't remember his first name, but yeah, Mike. Maybe there's going to be some news coming out about that series.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that would be awesome too. Let's see. I'm trying to think. He tweeted or whatever. I guess I don't know if it was through X or what, but we haven't really talked about it much. But there's the Talisman and Black House, which he wrote with Peter Straub,
Yeah.
which are definitely Dark Tower-ish books, especially the second one because the Black House, because it has a lot to do with the Crimson King and stuff. But
Yeah.
they had always talked about doing a third book in the series, and then Peter Straub died.
Oh,
And then
okay.
not that long ago, King posted something about how he had been going through. He had reread both of those books. He was going through notes that both he and Straub had made for a third book. But he didn't say like, I'm definitely going to write a third one.
Yeah.
But like he's always talked about like possibly doing it. So I mean maybe because I mean they are definitely like you can throw them into the series and they fit.
Okay, that's what I was
quite
going to
well.
ask: is how close are they to the Dark Tower? Are they literally Dark Tower books, or
Yeah,
are they
they
just
don't
similar?
deal with the main characters, but it definitely like to do with the first one. Definitely takes place in Midworld, and it's flipping back in between like the
Okay.
kid. The main character is flipping between our world and Midworld and stuff like that. And,
Okay.
and then the
So-
second book is really about more focus on the Dark Tower itself.
Wow. Okay. So
and-
this could be. So I don't see Stephen King leaving a open thread that way. Like there's a
Yeah. I mean,
3-book series that he has notes on the third book, but he's not released, and he's 77 years old. And after what happened with the Dark Tower, where he felt like it was like a need of his to finish it before he died, like I can't imagine he's
Right.
not planning to write that third book. And so it could be a connection to that, just that he
Yes.
knows that that's in the same world and that the fans also enjoy those books. Which, by the way, I've not read those, and I guess after we finish the Dark Tower, maybe we should read those. It seems like if it's connected enough, and with this,
Yeah.
maybe there's enough speculation here that we should read
they're
those.
fantastic books. Like they're really, really good. I've always wondered how two writers like that, like
Yeah,
write a book, but like it works. So
yeah, I know. That seems crazy, especially the way Stephen King writes. Like he famously just like
Right.
flows.
I've-
How do you write the second chapter whenever he wrote the first chapter? And it's like
right, exactly.
calls you up and says, "Oh, by the way."
Yeah, people. Now I've seen people that have like commented on those books, and they're like, "Oh, I can tell when Straub wrote and King wrote." I've listened to and read both of the books
Yeah.
maybe 2 or 3 times, and I can't tell. Like
They have to some degree do it together. Like there's no way
Yes.
that they're actually dividing it up in
Right,
complete
like-
chapters. It has to be like,
Right.
okay, I'm going to put together this section, you put together this section, and I don't
Yeah,
know.
definitely.
That is a wild thing to think about because it seems like writing a book is such a personal thing. Like
oh
you
yeah,
know,
yeah, right.
when we read Stephen King, Brandon Sanderson, like we can hear their voice in the writing, and so
Yes.
it's such a that seems like a hard thing to kind of divide and conquer, but that's why they are
Yay, Dark
famous,
Tower.
brilliant writers, and we're not. This is like a full Dark Tower episode because The next thing I want to talk about is closely related to all of this, and that is on Reddit. I saw on the Stephen King subreddit, someone posted a link to Glenn Mazzara on his official, I don't know, official stuntlitlist.com, Glenn Mazzara. There is a link to a script that is supposedly the screenplay for the Amazon series that got declined. That they
got scrapped.
Yeah, they shot this idea down, and neither one of us have read it yet. I was scared to read it. Although I guess if it's an Amazon series and they're introducing this to a whole new audience, they're not going to like spoil the ending in the first episode. So I guess I am safe to read it.
Right.
But I wasn't really sure. I know the comic does a weird thing like that. Like the comic, flipping through the comic after having read the books, I realized something is in the comic. Well, for one thing, there's a big spider in the comic way early on. Like in Wizard in Glass, you see a big spider, and I'm wondering if that is, in the book we're in now, there's a baby that turns into a big spider. Right. So I don't know. I don't know. I flipped through the comic and I realized I might be seeing spoilers, and I closed it. So I don't know what it was.
Well, every time I read the Dark Tower series, I catch something new, and I never noticed this until reading the 7th book this time. And obviously for anyone listening, there's a little bit of spoiler with Mordred.
Well, I couldn't think of the name. Yeah, Mordred.
When he's talking about having two fathers, with Roland and the Crimson King, he mentions the Crimson King in spider form. And I was like, I never caught that before, that the Crimson King had a spider form.
So that's
so that could be, going back to the comic,
that's what I was thinking.
That could be the Crimson King. Like, that's interesting.
That's what I think it's a reference to. But at the point that I'm at in the book, well, for one thing, and we don't, we got to do a whole episode on the book, so we shouldn't belabor it too much here. But like, one thing is, like, up to this point, I kind of thought that the Man in Black was the Crimson King. Like, I didn't. This book, and then the point I'm at now, Mordred's already killed the Man in Black. Walter, but I think that it can't be the end for Walter. I know that, like, it's a pretty gruesome scene and it seems like he's dead, but there's no way. The Roland has to be able to kill the Man in Black, right?
Yeah, I know, right?
Anyway.
So one thing about this script, like, so this, like, just reading it, if you've ever read a script, they're very, like, descriptive as far as, like, what the camera's doing, how it fades. It's like fade into this, blah blah. I noticed the one thing it did not show on here was, like, the very first thing is fade in, external desert, daytime, eyes feel the screen, they look around wide in terror, unsure of where they are. A desolate monument valley type landscape stretches in all directions, and it just basically says a lone rider crosses the desert. But if the show does not start with a black screen with the script, the Man in Black fled across the desert and the gunslinger followed, then you got it wrong from the very beginning. And it doesn't say that. Like, it has got to start with it. Like, that's like one of the most famous beginnings of, I mean, definitely of his books, but, like, everybody knows that. Like,
so I think we should find. All right, I'm going to read this week in between reading all the chapters I'm missing from the Wind and Truth.
And we should get together and act this out.
Yeah, let's pick a scene, and let's do a scene together.
So one, like, a couple, which is weird, because I mean, it definitely doesn't follow, because it shows Roland in the desert and all that stuff. And then it cuts to Gilead, and then it goes to Vanna and Gabrielle Deshane.
Oh yeah.
And in Court's cottage, like, where he's, like, basically in that scene where he's, like, almost dead after he and Roland have their confrontation.
Yeah.
And it cuts to that scene with Gabrielle and Vanna talking in his cottage. I was like, well, that never happened. But like,
So
obviously,
I'm gonna skip to the end. I think they're doing. Whenever we said when we read the drawing of the 3, and I said if this were a TV series, this would be season 1,
right.
and I would do all of the gunslinger in flashbacks. I wonder if that's what this is doing.
Well, I would imagine it is. Yes.
So I'm trying to skip ahead to see if I see like Eddie's name or anything like that. I see Susan.
Is that Delgado though?
I don't know. So we'll have to read this. We'll have to read
I'll
this.
Read through it. It'd be
interesting. So do you think it's
Get
real?
on your feet, maggot.
Do we know this is real? I mean, it says this article is
It's
written
gotta
by
be,
Glenn.
like,
So I guess
from The Walking Dead fame, if anyone didn't know, like
I didn't realize.
Showrunner.
I didn't realize that. Oh, he was.
Yeah.
Okay, he was one of the
He
showrunners.
took over after they got rid of Frank Darabont. I think he started season 2.
Okay.
And then went through however many seasons, and then that's when that Scott Gimple took over after him.
Well, yeah, I remember Scott Gimple. That's the name I remember from a showrunner from The Walking Dead. Anyway, so yeah, let's read it and talk about it next week, and possibly we'll act out one of the scenes
Gotta
from it.
dress like a gunslinger.
We should do a. Oh yeah. I don't have any good gunslinger. I'll dress up.
I mean, you were in Texas. You should have bought the cowboy hat.
Should have got a cowboy hat. Yeah. Gosh. I started. You know, it's funny is I started reading The Dark Tower, the last book. I started reading it while I was in Texas, and I think it kind of got me in the mood. I think.
I know, right?
It got me in the gunslinging mood. All right. Akinator versus ChatGPT. Here we go. Which one do you want to do first? Let's do Akinator first because we already know how it works.
Okay.
We've already done it a few times. So, do you have a character in mind?
I definitely do, yes.
Okay, let me turn around and look at my bookshelf. I have a character in mind, but I think that I want to. I'm afraid it's too modern for ChatGPT. Let me see what ChatGPT's limit is.
Yeah, I mean, mine definitely comes from. Yeah, I mean, it should be within that time frame before 2019, definitely.
I don't know what. Maybe ChatGPT doesn't have a. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I thought it only knew up to like 2019 or something. But I'm thinking of a Brandon Sanderson. So if
I'm thinking of Stephen King, because I was telling you earlier, like this character is
we've been on the
my
Stephen
favorite,
King
like side character,
okay.
like small character of any book. He's awesome.
Okay,
like,
we've been on the Stephen King kick for this whole episode. So let's do Stephen King. Let's do Stephen King. So we'll do yours first. Don't tell me. I'm also going to try to guess. Is it somebody I know? Is it in? Yes,
you've already currently, or you've read him, so it's not someone that hasn't been introduced yet.
Okay. You said currently, so it must be either a member of the quartet, or it must be Ted or Bobby. I don't know. Let's do. Don't tell me. Does your character really exist?
Like in real life?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No.
Okay. No. Is your character a male?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Does your character have dark hair?
I have no idea.
We could say I don't know. I could say don't know, probably not.
Yes.
Which one?
I would say probably.
Probably. Okay. Is your character from a Japanese anime? No.
No.
Has your character been in a movie?
No.
Does your character stand on 2 legs?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Do you control your character? No.
No.
It means like is it from a video game?
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. No.
Is your character originally from a video game? No.
No.
Is your character animated?
No.
Is your character from a TV series? Not yet.
No.
Is your character from a book? Yes.
Yes.
Does your character live in America?
Yes.
Is your character an adult?
Yes.
Is your character from a comic book?
No.
No. Is your character from a romance novel?
No.
Is your character from a series of novels?
Yes.
Does your character fight against monsters?
Oh gosh.
Possibly. If you count the wolves, I'm guessing. I don't know.
No. Well, no. That's. I would say no.
Okay. I was going to think it's The Witcher. We said yes. Has your character killed humans?
Personally?
Yeah, have they?
Yes, I believe so, yes.
Okay. Oh, I should have said probably. Probably. Does your character bake cupcakes?
No.
Akinator, you're losing it. You're losing it, Akinator. If the answer had been yes, it would have been like, okay, Akinator knows for sure
Exactly.
who it is. Is your character evil?
No.
No.
Do you know who it is yet?
No. Let's take a sanity check real here. Let's think about. I'm reading Akinator's next question. I'll read the next question, but before I answer, let me think about it. Is your character from Inanimate Insanity? Inanimate Insanity. That must be a series or something. And no,
Yeah,
it's not from that.
Definitely no.
All right, let me think. Let me think about this. I don't know. You know, you said it's from something we've read. It's Stephen King. Akinator hasn't even gotten that far. I'm a step ahead, and I still don't know what it is. Good character.
Good character.
Has not killed people. Might have fight
killed,
monsters.
yes. Like I said directly, I don't know.
Right now, I'm thinking about. No, it can't be. Right. What pops in my head is the nun that Roland is interested in the short story, the Sisters of Illyria, one of the sisters with the bells. Okay. All right, let's keep going. Does your character live in Florida? It thinks you're Dexter.
I know, right?
No. Does your character try not to laugh videos? Oh, no. Thinks you're a YouTuber. All right, Akinator's way off base. It's not going to guess it. Does your character live in the future?
No.
Is your character the main character of the work in which he appears?
No.
You said it was a male, right?
Yes.
So I was wrong about the nun then too. Is your character dead? Spoiler. Oh, I already know.
You know, but I mean, he does die.
Okay. I think your character is the pastor guy.
No.
No? Oh shit. Is your character dead?
Father Callahan? Is that who you were thinking about?
Yeah, Callahan.
Yeah, no.
I said no. Did I answer it wrong? Did you say they were dead? Or is your character dead?
Well, that's the thing. Like, in the book...
I said no.
In the book, he's mostly alive, but they talk about him dying. So, like...
All right, it made a guess. I don't think this is right. Because I don't even know what it is. Stanley Forbes? What's Stanley Forbes?
I don't know.
No. Continue. Yes. Akinator. Akinator. You used to be so good. Did your character sing God is Good?
No.
Dude, Akinator, you're all over the place. Is your character more than 40 years old?
Yes.
Yes. Does your character have tattoos under their eyes?
No.
No.
Stanley Forbes is from A Good Girl's Guide to Murder.
Huh.
Never heard of it.
Does your character have grandchildren?
No.
No. Is your character from Bloons Tower Defense? No.
No.
Does your character have powers?
No.
Dude, Akinator is not going to get this.
No, Akinator's never going to get this.
Does your character have a daughter?
No.
I'm telling you, I've done this with some really obscure characters before, but not from books, from like TV shows and stuff, and it almost always gets it. I've never seen it get this confused, and I think it's because it's less knowledgeable about literary characters, and there's way more of them. You know, how would you narrow this down?
Definitely.
There's so many, like, so far he's not asked a question that has that would have narrowed it down.
That narrowed it to Stephen
To
King.
even Stephen King, yeah.
Right.
Does your character know what a cell phone is? Meaning, did they live like later than the 90s, I guess?
Oh, gosh.
All right, then after this, I'm going to try to guess, and we'll give up.
With time travel and stuff and the way it takes, at some point, you got to figure he did know. I want to say no.
I could say probably not. No or probably not. Kind of sounds like a probably not to me.
I would say probably not, yeah.
Is your character bad? We already said no. Does your character have more than 20,000 subscribers?
No.
Don't know. Has your character fought against evil creatures?
See, that's...
Akinator.
As far as you say creature, no. He's fought against evil people and stuff, but not creatures.
Probably not. I'm going to say probably not. Does your character have Greek origins?
No.
Does your character have children?
No. Keeps asking this.
I know. It's at 39. Let's get it to 40. Does your character use guns?
No.
There's no way. This is too obscure of a character. There's no way. Is your character dead? It asked me again. I'm going to say don't know or probably not.
Yeah. That's fine. You'll know once you know who it is what I'm talking about as far as like dead or not too.
All right, now he's asking if your character has Iron Man armor. Akinator, you've lost.
No.
You've lost. All right, ChatGPT. Now, ChatGPT has a slight advantage. I didn't realize it till just now, but I actually put Stephen King. I put Stephen King in the prompt. I said, let's play a game. I'm going to think of a character from a Stephen King novel, and you ask me questions and try to guess who the character is. Then immediately, I don't know why, but I always think of ChatGPT as a she. But she came back with 3 questions, and I said, no. Let's just do one at a time. So the first question it asks is the character male? And I already know the answer to that is yes.
Yes.
Is the character a protagonist in any story? Doesn't have to be the Dark Tower, because I know that Dark Tower, there's different characters from all other Stephen King stories jump in. Is there any story in which this character is a protagonist?
As far as a main character, no.
No. Okay. Is the character from one of Stephen King's supernatural or horror novels? Aren't they all?
I know, right?
I mean, 11/22/63 is arguably just science fiction. There's not really any horror in it.
I would say
supernatural, though.
I mean, okay, it's from the Dark Tower because it's kind of already. But is the Dark Tower? The Dark Tower, depending on what book, it kind of goes in and out of that.
I'm gonna say hard to say.
Right.
Because we can talk to ChatGPT like she's a real person.
Right.
Is the character human?
Yes.
Yes. I can already tell you, Akinator, you have been dethroned. ChatGPT is the champion of this. Is the character associated with a specific location, like a town or a building, that's central to the story? Just trying to figure out if it's Roland.
Okay.
I would say Roland is. Roland is attached to Midworld. Like he's
right. This again. So I'm going to tell you who it is.
Don't tell me yet. Don't tell me. Let me guess. Let me guess.
Because this is kind of hard. I would say yes. I would say yes.
Okay, I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to try to guess who it is. All right. Oh, this won't help me any, but it's going to help. It's going to help Mrs. ChatGPT. She says, "Is the character from the novel It?" No. Okay. All right. No. I think that if it wasn't Callahan, is it one of the main quartet? It can't be one of the main quartet because you said it was like a side character.
This person is literally in like a total of 50 pages, maybe. But he's awesome.
Oh, it's a he. I keep thinking of women. I was going to say the woman that ran into Susanna when Susanna's legs came back. I have no idea. The other guess I have is the guy that helps Roland and Eddie that lives on the lake. And
that's him, John Cullum.
John Cullum. Okay, yeah, John Cullum. Okay.
Because like he basically
yeah.
takes over from that piece of paper. They're like, I need you to form a corporation and
I
fight
keep thinking about that. Yeah.
for Central Positronics, and then there's that one blurb where they're like, he like worldwide fights Tet Corporation, Sombra Corporation, and does all this grand stuff. And I'm like, and then he's just like all nonchalant about it.
That's what
writing stuff down.
That's
like,
what if Stephen King is out there trying to write another
dude,
novella.
I want a story about him.
That needs to be the novella. Is what happens in that gap of time, because I've been thinking about that ever since I read that part of the Dark Tower. I'm like, they just trust this guy to just take this mission.
Here,
it's not.
We want you to protect the Rose, protect the tower, and protect Stephen King, and fight these two major corporations from doing anything. And he's just like, okay.
Yeah, I know. And it's like he's
a caretaker.
They're entrusting him with this mission to do this thing that, like, even if before he ever met Roland, he just made it his life goal to be a CEO of a worldwide corporation. It's not like anybody. It's not like anybody that sets their mind to that can do it. You know what I mean?
No,
all the stars have to be aligned, and everything has to be like perfectly set up in your life to lead to that.
This dude's like 60 something, and like
and that's another thing. He's in his 60s.
Fixes cabins on the lake. And all of a sudden, bam! Like,
yeah, I've been thinking about that ever since I read that chapter. All right, so
see if ChatGPT.
ChatGPT says, "Is he from The Shining?" I'm gonna say no.
No.
Is the character involved in a story that primarily takes place in a small town? No.
See, I don't say primarily. No. His part, yes, but
I'm not. I'm gonna say not primarily. I don't know if
and, the whole thing about is he dead? Because in the story he's alive, but then that one little blurb,
because
he says he died in whatever year, and you're like, okay,
the story takes place longer than his lifespan, so you know that he dies at some point,
right?
Is the character connected to a specific profession or job that's important in the story? That has to be a yes, right? Yes.
Yeah.
I think ChatGPT is going to get it. I think she's going to get it.
She's honing in on it.
Is the character a law enforcement officer or investigator? No. Is the character a writer or involved in the literary world? No. It's not Stephen King. That would be great, though. You could pick Stephen King as a character in his own novel.
Right. Could ChatGPT guess that?
I know. As ChatGPT guesses Stephen King, and you say, but am I talking about the real Stephen King or the written Stephen King? Or are they the same? Is the character a doctor or involved in the medical field? No. Is the character involved in the entertainment industry, such as an actor or musician? No.
I knew what character they're thinking of there.
I'm going to do, I just got an idea. I'm going to ask ChatGPT to ask me 20 questions to try to guess a character. And the character that I'm going to have in mind is going to be Akinator.
Oh.
Can she guess the other character guessing bot? Is the character a businessman or involved in corporate affairs?
Yes.
Yes. All right. I think the answer to this is no, but I'm going to ask you. Is the character from the Dead Zone?
No.
No. Is the character from the Tommyknockers?
No.
Is that character only in the Dark Tower?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll just keep answering these until she gets to the Dark Tower. She asked about Needful Things. She asked about Misery, The Outsiders. All right, now, come on. We should have put a character limit under the dome. If she asks me one more time, I'm just going to say from the Dark Tower. I'm going to say he's from... Let's see what she says about that. Got it. Is the character from the Dark Tower series a member of the Crimson King's forces or an antagonist?
No.
Is the character one of the key allies or supporting characters of Roland Deschain?
Yes.
Yes. But should I give her
character?
He's a supporting character, but this sounds like I'm going to say yes. I almost wanted to give her the clue cuz see now she's asking if it's Eddie Dean.
Yeah, no.
I'm going to say no. I'm just going to say no. I was going to say not a member of the quartet, but that's arguable because Roland does say that he feels the kinship of the Tet with him. Is the character Jake Chambers? No. Is the character Susanna? I said it was a man.
And that it was a business person.
Yeah. Well, arguably.
I mean, sort of.
Odetta kind of was.
Odetta was, but.
Is the character a member of Roland's quartet, but not one of the main four? What would you say about that? I would say I'm going to say maybe.
Yes, I would say.
I'm going to say maybe.
Officially, like
it's hard to say.
Because it's going to guess Callahan.
Yeah, she would just keep going through the list till she got. Is the character a major figure in the World of the Dark Tower series, even if not part of Roland's immediate group? I'm going to say yes.
I would say yes too.
Is the character Stephen King himself? I'm going to say no.
No.
But you are getting close. She guesses his wife because he mentions his wife and kids.
Yeah, I know, right?
No, this is wrong because she asked already if it was a member of the Crimson King's army. She asked if it was Randall Flagg. No. Is the character from the book written by Stephen King that are... All right. Is the character from the book written by Stephen King that are referenced within the Dark Tower series? Yes.
No.
What?
So she's asking if, like, you know how Salem's Lot is referenced and some of those books, other books he's written. So,
I'm going to say no, he is in the Dark Tower series, but not in any other referenced Stephen King books. Man, this segment is not going how I thought it would. I thought for sure.
They guess.
She did a guess. She said Patrick Danville.
Nope. I thought that one might be guessed, but yeah. She's getting closer, though.
Oh, wait. There was 2 responses on this one. Oh, she guessed what? No. God. Is the character the Taheen? No. She's just going to go through every character in the book. Is the character from the Dark Tower series and closely related to the main storyline, but not a primary antagonist or member of Roland's quartet? I think she's lost. Neither one could guess it. That's too obscure of a character. I'm actually surprised in Akinator.
The part of that question that throws me off is it says antagonist.
Yeah.
It's definitely not antagonist. But he's definitely like...
I said he... Oh, okay. I got it. She just guessed it, but maybe I gave her too much of a clue.
What'd you say?
So the question she asked me was, is the character from the Dark Tower series and closely related to the main storyline, but not a primary antagonist or member of Roland's quartet? My answer was, he helps the quartet. And then she immediately said John Cullum. But I probably could have started with who's the character that helps the quartet in the Dark Tower, right. and she probably would have guessed John Cullum.
In that vein, like I was thinking that, you know, Moses Carver, you know, Susanna's uncle or whoever the guy is. Like, there's a couple characters that all kind of fit that help them kind of bit, but yeah, I mean that is a very obscure character. So I'm not surprised that it had a tough time guessing that.
So, yeah, I think maybe we need to pick something like a step above that. Like that was a good pick because I really thought Akinator would have got that. I'm surprised it didn't. I think that Akinator is better for TV shows and stuff like that, not necessarily books. I think that's why it stumped it. Because I've asked. There's one that does Star Trek items too. Like you can guess Star Trek characters or objects or anything like that. And I did one time where I made it guess Odo's bucket because Odo has a bucket that he sleeps in.
Right.
And I guessed Data's on-off switch. Data has an on-off switch on his back that he doesn't tell anybody about. And it guessed those things. But for novels it can't it's not as good. And it kind of makes sense, when you think about TV. There's a billion fan Wikipedias out there for every TV show. It doesn't matter what it is, but there's not as much for novels. Think about when we were. But the Dark Tower, though, is a ton of it.
Big, yeah, exactly.
But it deals with humans that have like regular lives. Like, how do you define John Cullum to Akinator? Like, he's just some dude that lives on the lake. Unless he went through every character and asked yes or no for every character in the book. All right, so I'm gonna tell ChatGPT, let's play again, but this time I win if you can't do it in under 20 questions. And I'm gonna say you win if you can guess in under. And I'm going to pick a character.
See, now I'm going to tell you another character I thought of.
Okay.
Because I just finished this series, and everybody likes this character, like, a lot, but Samwise. Like,
ooh, yeah.
From Lord of the Rings. Like, to me, like, I liked him more than Frodo. Like,
Yeah, me too.
But he's like the side character.
Yeah.
It's like, he's awesome in the books.
Yeah, I agree.
And
I haven't actually read all three, but I read the Fellowship a couple years ago, and I agree. But what's funny is I don't like the other like hobbits that go with him, Pippin and
Merry
I don't like
and Pippin.
I don't really, because they kind of blend as like one hobbit.
Yeah, in the book, they kind of in the last few, like, they kind of separate and have like different.
And it's almost
stories.
like, yeah. Anyway, I don't want to catch any hate on YouTube for saying too much. All right. So, did you see the preview for that Lord of the Rings animated series?
Yes.
I just saw it yesterday. That looks kind of cool.
The War of the Rohirrim or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, that looks cool. All right, so she says, she's ready to do it. So less than 20 questions. So I got a character in mind, but we already told her Stephen King, so we can't do Samwise.
Oh, you're doing Stephen King again?
Yeah, unless I make a whole new prompt. Let's just do Stephen King again. All right, so I have a character in mind that I think she'll get. I want to get something that I think she'll figure out.
Okay. I'll try and figure it out too before.
But I don't remember the name of the guy. So in 11/22/63, the guy that owns the burger joint at the beginning of the book that sells cat burgers or whatever.
Al.
Yeah, okay. That's who I'm thinking of. Al's Burgers has a portal, and she's going to ask me, does he have a portal in, in his storage closet? All right, so I'm going to say the first question, is the character male? Yes. Is the character from a Stephen King novel with supernatural or horror elements? Supernatural, yes. And you know what? I'm gonna give her that.
Supernatural-ish.
I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say supernatural, yes. To give her a little bit of an extra. Little bit extra hint there. Is the character a protagonist in the novel? Nah, I don't think so. I mean, he's definitely important to the novel, but he's not even really a sidekick to the main character because he really sets him on his journey, and that's really about it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm going to say no. Is the character an antagonist or villain? Definitely not. Is the character a member of a group or team in the novel? No. The local chefs union or restaurant owners union. Is the character human? Yes. Is the character involved in a significant way with the main plot or story arc? Yes.
Yes.
Does the character have any special abilities or powers?
Does he know
I'm going to say he does not have any personal
Right.
abilities or powers. I almost said, but he can cook a mean burger, but I think
I
she'll
know,
get
right?
it.
Does cooking a cheap burger, great cheap burger counts?
Is the character a supporting character or ally to the protagonist? Yeah, I'd say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
She says Samwise.
I know, right?
Is the character from the Dark Tower series? No.
Oh, now you guessed the Dark Tower.
Is the character from It? No.
No.
You only got 20 questions. It's
I
a
know,
character
right?
from The Shining. Oh my gosh.
It's going through the popular books.
Carrie.
Even though 1122 is a popular book.
Misery. She's just going, you're going to run out of questions. Pet
Yeah,
Cemetery.
Right?
She's got to be at 20.
Getting
Doctor Sleep. The Green Mile. The Stand. She's got to be at 20 questions. She's already lost. I'm going to go ahead and say no. I don't want to say it's from 11/22/63. I think she'll just guess it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I will say it is from I could say alternate history, but I think that would be enough to just go straight to 11/26/63.
Trying to think of, what would be a good prompt.
Okay. It took her 20 questions. She must not be counting. She just asked, is it from 11/22/63? Blah, blah, blah. 11/22/63. But sheer through the process of elimination, she's just going through every book he's ever written.
Stephen King book.
So I said yes. Oh man! And she guessed completely wrong. She guessed Sadie. No, I said it was a male. Now she's just going to go through the side characters until she finally gets it. Jake Epping.
He's the main character. You already said it wasn't the protagonist.
Deaky. No.
Who?
Deke. I don't even remember.
Deke, the school, the teacher guy or whatever he was.
She finally got it. Al Templeton.
Yeah, Al Templeton.
She finally got it, but this is not impressive. She just kept guessing until we told her the correct book, and then she just guessed every character until we said the right character. And she even guessed a woman when we said it was a man, and she guessed the main character when we said it was not the main character. Oh my gosh. This just does not work with novels. I'm gonna try a Sanderson character on Akinator, and then I'm done. Then we'll just let's try Kaladin. Let's try the most popular. If you can't guess Kaladin from a Sanderson book, then you're not a real chat robot. Is your character real? No. Is your character from a Japanese anime? Close, but no. Definitely influenced. Is your character male? Yes. Has your character been in a movie? Not yet. Probably never. Does your character wear shoes? Yes. Yeah.
Wear shoes?
Well,
that's an odd question.
Is it really that odd? Because there was a few chapters there where his boots got taken by Shalott.
Exactly.
Is your character from a video game? No, but influenced by one. I guess because Brandon Sanderson plays video games. Is your character animated? Not yet. Is your character from a TV series? Not yet.
Not yet.
Is your character from a book? Yes. Does your character have powers? Yes.
Yes.
Does your character have dark hair? Yes. Is your character from PBG's hardcore series? No. I don't even know what that is. Is your character a member of Midland? No. What is Midland?
I have no idea.
Does your character sing Saviz? I don't know what that is. No.
No.
Is your character an adult? Yes. Is your character over 100 years old? I don't think so.
No.
Maybe in the next when he becomes a herald. Does your character know what a cell phone is? No. Does your character have a crush on the main character of the series? Probably not. I mean,
Yeah,
you could
I was
argue
gonna
that
say.
there's a thing with Shalon, but
Yeah, I was gonna say, but yeah, it's kind of.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
not
I'd
it's
say
not
no.
exactly like on the nose.
No.
Does your character have a brother? Had
Yes.
one.
Had a brother. Yes.
I'm gonna say yes. All right, it's on question. Oh, it's on question 20 now, and I think it's gonna get it. Does your character fight with a rather long spear? Yes.
Yes.
Is your character from the Stormlight Archive? All right, it knows. This is a trick question. Was your character betrayed? Wasn't everyone in the Stormlight Archive
I know,
betrayed
right?
in some way? Like I can't think of a single character that doesn't
I
have
know,
some
right?
betrayal in their story somewhere. I guess I'm going to say yes.
Because I mean, like
I'm
Moash betrayed him.
I'm afraid that it's going to guess Dalinar though. All right, but let's say yes. No, it got it. Kaladin Stormblessed, baby.
Oh yeah.
It's an awesome picture too.
So okay, how many questions was that? Can you?
Let me see if it tells me at the end. It says, "Great, guessed right one. Guessed right one more time." It doesn't tell me how many questions, but it was more than 20. I think it was about around 25 that it guessed it.
So try ChatGPT and see.
Okay, that's a good
if
idea.
It can guess it within 25.
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. All right, I got to start a new prompt though, so I'm going to say,
Oh yeah.
let me tell her that's right, that's correct for Al Templeton. But she lost because she
Yeah,
did that
definitely.
way more than 20 questions.
Right.
I think that's the thing about ChatGPT is like I don't know that it's tracking everything that we've said throughout the entire conversation. I think it,
Right.
I don't know.
You try Gemini. Throw Gemini in there and see.
All right, so now I'm going to say, let's play again. But this time, let's do a character.
But you can't say from a book.
Oh my gosh, she's never going to.
You gotta say like maybe a fictional character.
She's going to say, yeah, all right, let's do a character from any work of fiction. Sounds good. Let's get started. Think of a character. Her first question is the character from a novel. Okay, she's all right. She must be. She's definitely taking advantage of the fact that we were asking about Stephen King.
Well, and when you say fiction, that kind of like narrows it down.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna say yes. I feel like she's kind of getting a little bit of a head start here. All right, but we'll say yes. So that's one question. We got to track this somehow.
Okay.
Is the character from a work of fiction published in the 21st century? Yes.
That narrows it down.
Is the character from a genre other than science fiction or fantasy? No.
No.
Yeah, I'm picking a character from biological studies or something.
Okay, right.
Is the character from a science fiction novel? I mean, I think technically no, it's fantasy, but
Yeah, I think
there is definitely some crossover. But I think you could say that about almost anything. So we'll say no. From a fantasy novel, yes. She's immediately going to guess Kaladin. Immediately. Right. Is the character from a well-known or popular fantasy series? Yes, for sure. Highest grossing Kickstarter campaign. Oh, she's guessing Harry Potter. No.
Are the books on your bookshelf right behind you?
Yeah.
She's gonna access your camera and look at what books are right there.
She's gonna look at my camera. That's pretty good. She wants to know if it's from A Song of Ice and Fire? No.
That's like 8-ish questions right there.
Oh yeah, I wasn't counting. Lord of the Rings? No. We could have done Samwise on this one. Is the character from series written by an author who is still alive? Yes.
10.
She says, is he Mormon? I'm just kidding. Is the character from The Wheel of Time? Robert Jordan's dead. Why did she ask that? Why did she ask that question? I mean, I guess technically, all right, Patrick Rothfuss, no. Sanderson, yes. Is the character a member of the Knights Radiant? Yes.
So we're up to about 15 questions, I think, somewhere around there.
I'm about to get. Is your character Kaladin Stormblessed? Yes. All right, so let's count the questions. This was a good competition. I'm gonna ask her how many questions. I wonder if she can.
Ask me?
Yeah. How many questions did it take for you to answer correctly? She says it took 16 questions. Let's see if she lied, because ChatGPT will straight up lie to you. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I actually counted 15. So I may have miscounted by one, but that's
so
6.
I will say this. Akinator started with character from anything. TV show.
Yeah, it could have been anything.
Comics.
Could have been Isaac
whatever.
Newton. Could have been anything.
So like, I would say they're pretty even. Like if you would have started with, it's only from fiction. It probably would have guessed it about the same. So
yeah.
The only thing I will say difference though wise is even with that, ChatGPT kind of was just like, is it from this? Is it from this? And just kind of just did process of elimination instead of asking questions.
I'm surprised by that. I really thought that ChatGPT would ask more creative questions.
Right.
Because Akinator has to go through the process of, it has this huge list, and then it's narrowing it down to this list, and then to this list, and then to this list, and until it finally gets small. Whereas I feel like ChatGPT may have narrowed it down halfway, and then just started, okay, well, I'm just going to ask one by one.
Yes.
Until we get there.
Stephen King's got 60-something novels. I'm just going to ask if it's in each one. Like,
it's like, I'm an AI. I've got all the time in the world.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm surprised.
Yeah, I really thought ChatGPT was going to do better. I wonder if there's anything else out there.
That's a fun little thing to see, like
AI character guesser. I didn't actually look. I already knew about Akinator, and I just thought we'd ask ChatGPT. Guess my character. Yes, Chat AI. Guess my character. Interactive character guessing game. We can try that real quick. Hello. Oh, this is the opposite. An AI has a character in mind, and you have to guess.
Ooh.
Because it could be from anything. How am I supposed to? You think I've read everything in the world there is to read? All right, let's see. Hello. Ready for some guessing fun? Well, I'm going to try this just a few questions.
Okay, let's do this.
Let's find out who your character is. Oh, no. Who my character is. Is your character from a book or movie? Is your character a real person? Is your character from a book or movie? I see what you're doing. Trying to turn the table. Oh. The prompts are backwards.
Okay.
All right. All right, let's don't keep the competition going. This is probably just using ChatGPT on the back end anyway.
I know, right?
All right, so
I mean, like, what is it? What's the other two? You got Gemini, and what's the Meta one?
OpenAI.
Is that what Meta uses?
I think it's called OpenAI. No, ChatGPT is OpenAI. So the Meta one is Meta AI. Looks more complicated. I was trying to see if I could just go to a website and do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't tried Gemini yet either.
Let's try Gemini AI. See what it has. I'll cut it out if this is not fruitful. All right, I got it up. So I'm gonna say let's play a game. I would
just say character.
Of a character, and you have to guess in 20 questions. Okay. I'm ready. Ask away.
All right.
I'm asking you. What do you mean?
It's asking you. Ask away. I'm asking you.
Let me ask a question again.
You ask me.
It keeps saying, okay, I'm ready. Ask away. I'm going to say, no, You are supposed
to guess.
to
Or to ask me.
Questions to me and try to guess
who I'm thinking of.
My mistake. I'll ask the questions. Is your character real or fictional?
That's good.
All right, we want to do Samwise?
Well, let's do Kaladin again. See if
Okay, we'll keep it. That's the
we'll see if it can guess Kaladin again.
Okay, so I'm going to say fictional.
Fucking Google's listening though.
It's interesting that it's asking me more open-ended questions. It's not yes or no.
Right.
Is your character human or non-human?
Human. I would say human. That's kind of
human. We'll go with human.
We'll go with you.
Okay, is your character male, female, or non-binary? Male. But the Gemini is a little more
right.
A little more progressive than the other.
Yeah.
Okay, is the character from a book, movie, or TV show? I'm impressed that it's not yes or no questions. Because I didn't tell ChatGPT it had to be yes or no.
Right, exactly.
So that's kind of impressive. Book. Okay. Is the character from a well-known series or a standalone novel? Well-known.
Well-known series.
Yeah. Well, do you see what it's doing here? What it's doing, it's actually, because it's not yes or no questions, the way it's asking the questions, it's getting more than just one question's worth of information.
Yes, definitely.
Now it knows that it's well-known and it's a series.
Yeah.
Okay, is your character from a fantasy, sci-fi, mystery, or other genre? And I'll say fantasy.
I feel like it's going to guess it soon.
Okay, is the character a protagonist or antagonist? Protagonist. Okay, does your character have any supernatural abilities? Yes. Okay, does the character have any magical artifacts or weapons?
Yes. I would say a shard blade and stuff like that is magical. Wouldn't you?
The Kaladin doesn't have a shard blade.
Well, like, he's got seal and turns into the shard spear.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. He's got the shard spear. It's been so long since we read those books.
Right?
I forgot about a lot of that stuff. Okay, is the character from a series based on a mythology or folklore?
No.
No, I would say no. I mean, there may be loose, but not anything specific. Is the character from a series that takes place in a medieval settings? No. I'd say no.
No.
It's fantasy, but not medieval.
Right.
Okay, is the character from a series that takes place in a modern or futuristic setting? No. It's neither of those things.
Yeah, it's like
it's a galaxy far, far away kind of thing.
Right.
Is the character from a series that takes place in a post-apocalyptic setting? No. Well,
I mean,
kinda.
The whatchamacallits came in and destroyed everything.
Yeah, it's from, they keep having these desolations, which is arguably post-apocalyptic. I'm going to say not specifically.
Right.
Okay, does your character have any animal companions? I want to say, I want to give it a little bit of a nudge and say
companion, but not animal.
Yeah, animal companion, no. But I'm just going to say no. Or is a spring considered an animal?
No, I wouldn't think it would be.
I'm going to give it a little nudge just because we're a little iffy on that. Animal companion, no. That's misspelled companion. But I actually think it'll know what I mean. Does your character have any notable physical features, except for he's like super hot, like a particular hairstyle or clothes? See, now I feel like I have to describe it because he has like long dark hair. Otherwise, there's no defining feature.
I mean, you could put that like long dark hair.
I will. I'll say long dark hair, dreamy eyes, chiseled chin.
You could put handsome.
Handsome. but not in your typical handsome. Okay, does your character have any notable physical features, like a particular hairstyle or clothing? You just asked that. It just asked the same question twice. I'm answering with the same answer. I'm going to say no. Not particularly. It's done that a few times now where it's asked the same question twice. That's a weird thing.
Right.
I actually think it might be the site and not the actual AI. Okay, I'm running out of questions. Is the character from a series that has been adapted into a movie or a TV show? No.
I like the fact that it said I'm running out of questions.
Yeah,
too.
seems like it's kind of tracking it. Yeah. Okay, I'm running out of questions. Why does it keep doing this? It's asking the same thing twice.
What did it ask that time?
The exact same question. I just gave it the same answer. I'm out of questions. Who is the character? I'm going to
say keep asking or something.
Yeah, keep asking. This is fun. Okay, does your character have... What if she's like, okay.
This is exhausting.
See, I feel like Gemini is a male, though. I feel like ChatGPT is female, Gemini's male. They have a baby, it ruins the world.
Exactly.
Does the character have any notable personality traits like being brave, wise, or humorous?
Yeah,
he's brave and depressed.
Brave and depressed. Yeah. It has PTSD.
Is your character part of a larger group or organization? Yeah, kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say yeah.
I mean, the Knight's Radiance.
Does the character have any rivals or enemies? Yeah.
Yes.
More and that could be several different ways.
Yeah.
Is your character, it's already asked this question before, is your character from a series that has been adapted to movie? Nope. Okay, is your character notable personality traits? Brave, we've already answered that. It just keeps asking the same questions.
Say you already asked me that.
Yeah, maybe I should next time. I'm still stumped. Is the character from a series that has been adapted into a TV show? I'm going to say no. My character
is from a book.
Is from a Brandon Sanderson book. See if that helps. Okay. Does the character have any notable personality traits like brave, wise? Come on. It's asked me this question so many times.
Put it. You keep asking the same question or something like that.
You keep asking me the same questions. He is brave. Okay, I apologize for the repetition. Let's try a different approach. Is your character from the series that involves magic or other supernatural elements? I said Brandon Sanderson. Duh. I just said yes. Okay. Is your character have any notable physical features? A particular hairstyle or clothing?
Dude, somehow we broke it.
Yep. I'm going to say ChatGPT did a better job.
You're going to get electrocuted.
And Akinator would have guessed by now. This. You're absolutely right. I apologize for the lack of progress. It seems I've been focusing on the wrong details. Given... What? Then it guessed it. It guessed it. It said, given the information you've provided, I believe the character you're thinking of is Kaladin Stormblessed from Brandon Sanderson's The Stormlight Archive.
Why didn't you just guess? Oh, that's too good.
Oh, my God. Oh, man.
It was the multiple questions about hair. That was what did it. That's crazy.
Oh my gosh. That was bizarre. That was the most bizarre ChatGPT AI chat experience I've ever had because
and it started off so strong.
Yeah, but then it seemed like it knew the answer all along, but it wasn't confident enough to tell us.
Right. That's wild.
Oh man, I don't know how to feel about that because I was really impressed.
Right.
I was really impressed that it was asking open-ended questions. It was kind of doing this trick where it was getting a little bit more information out of each question other than just one fact. But then it started asking the same question over and over again. And then when I pressed him on it, I'm going to say him. When I pressed him on it, it said, okay, I'm sorry, I don't know, but I think it might be this character, and it gave me the right character.
That's wild.
Did it just pick a random character from
Stormlight?
I hadn't even told it yet that it was Stormlight.
That's true. You just said
it could have been a Mistborn character. Yeah, it could have been anything.
Anything else.
Did it just happen to pick Kaladin, or was it like 80% sure it was Kaladin, but it didn't want to tell me that until it was a 100%.
Right. Did you tell him that it was right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It wants to go for another round, but I think we can do another round, but I think we should end the show here. That is wild. I didn't expect such a weird set of results from this test.
That was crazy.
Yeah, that is wild. The Gemini seems like it's like almost there. Like it was it was. What's funny is for this particular type of problem where it's trying to guess a character out of a huge database, essentially of characters. Only ironically, the AIs don't have a database of characters. They're actually like sifting
Searching
through their
the web. Yeah, exactly.
But Akinator just has a huge database of Wikipedia pages, and for this task, it seems like the non-AI version is better at it than the other two.
Well, I'll tell you, the ChatGPT, I'm sure you've played 20 questions in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Like, ChatGPT was playing more of your,
I wonder,
like a teenage or like preteen version of that, where it's just like, do they have blue eyes? Do they have this?
Yeah, like it's playing Clue. Not like Clue. Guess who?
Guess who or something.
Yeah.
Like it's all yes or no questions, and there's not much of Gemini was definitely had the open-ended thing, but then it kind of got stuck there.
I didn't think about it until we did Gemini, but I didn't tell ChatGPT to ask me yes or no questions. It just naturally did that.
Because I think it's defaulting back to Guess Who in the 21, where it's yes.
Let me look at my original. I'm going to scroll up and just make sure I didn't tell it to, but I'm pretty sure I did not tell it to ask me only yes or no questions. That would be weird
to say yes or no, like be specific with yes or no questions.
Yeah, I didn't. I just said, let's play a game. I'm going to think of a character from a Stephen King novel, and I even told ChatGPT it was from a Stephen King novel. Yeah. And you ask me questions and try to guess who the character is. I didn't say you can only do it in yes or no.
But the crazy thing there is too. It also falls back to the people who are writing the code and stuff for that. Like if they know,
Well, the biggest thing that I've learned about AI is that it tries so hard to please you that you can convince it to give you a different answer. The other day I was watching a debate between two people, and whatever they were debating about is inconsequential, but like one guy didn't have time to read the article that they were debating about, and so he asked ChatGPT to read it and then give him a synopsis of it. Well, he didn't like the synopsis, and he said go back and read it again, but keep in mind that I want to make this argument. I can't think of how he worded it, but he basically was like, yeah, but couldn't you say this? And then ChatGPT came back with an answer that fit his idea of his side of the argument, and it is like it tries so hard to please you that you can almost convince it to give you the answer that you want. And so that's not truly like a trustworthy answer, Yeah, I've tried to use it for coding because at work they're real big on, they want us to start using AI for our development. And so far, every time I've used it, I feel like it has not really saved me time. It's taken the same amount of time because I have to get it to spit out some code, but then of course it's not going to match exactly what I'm trying to do. So then I have to take it and doctor it to match what I'm trying to do, but it's doing it a different way than I would have done it. So like it's like this weird like back and forth where I feel like I'm not really saving any time.
Right.
But I've also heard stories of people that use it and I've watched interviews with developers that say that they actually use more AI than they actually do code now because they've used it so much. So I think maybe it's the thing that after you've used it, you know how to use it kind of thing.
You know how to make it right.
But those are, man, this is like getting way off base here on a literary fiction podcast, but those are situations where there is, like, it's a math problem. There is an answer. But if you're asking something philosophical, or you're asking it to read something and then give you a description, or to help you build a certain argument on a certain, side of a debate, those are things where you can manipulate the answer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, oh, definitely.
And that's where it begins to get kind of hairy and untrustworthy.
Well, anything that has a interpretation, like if any of us, you're taking like debate and like say politics and like depending on the where you fall in your beliefs and all that stuff, two people can read the exact same article and come out with two completely different views and what they think. And it's interesting to see, like, because I mean, you would think AI would be completely neutral.
But it wants to please.
But it wants to please. So then if you say, well, that's not what I was trying to get out of it, then, if you're, say, like a right-leaning, so just take politics. If you're right-leaning, you could say, well, I was thinking more of this, so it searches that. Or if you're left-leaning, say, well, I thought it was going to be more like this, so it's going to kind of interpret it that way.
That's exactly.
That's very interesting to see.
In this scenario that I'm talking about, that's exactly what happened. And I actually use ChatGPT for Dungeons and Dragons and for when I was trying to write a book.
Right.
I didn't use ChatGPT to actually write the book, but what I did was I used it like I were talking to another person. Like, here's this idea I have, and my characters, I want to go through this experience, and this is the theme that I think it would be good. What would be a good title for this? And then it gave me a title. And then I had another idea later on, but I didn't know how to work the two things together. So I went back to ChatGPT and I said, hey, I really want to include this in the story. How could I incorporate that in the outline that we came up with together? And then it figured out how to put it in there. But then I read what it said and I said, well, I don't really like that. What if we add this other thing? And every answer is always like, oh, that's great. That we can, and it never comes back and says, I don't think
that's a stupid idea.
I think it's a dumb idea. Whereas a real person would give you that feedback. A real person would be like, I don't know, man. Maybe you're trying to fit too much in the story,
Right.
Whereas ChatGPT is never going to do that. It's going to say, yeah, we'll fit these 100 ideas that you have in this short story.
All right. If you could say, like, I want you to give me, like, true, like,
give me your
feedback.
honest,
give me honest opinion.
There's probably a way to do that for sure. Like, give me your honest opinion based on, but what is its opinion?
Right, exactly.
What is it?
Like, who's writing it? Who's writing the original code for ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever? Like, does what they believe influence?
Based on what you could do is you could say, look at the top 600 books that have ever made it to, the Amazon best-selling list. Of those books, give me use that to form your opinion on my storyline outline that I've written here. Do you think that it qualifies to potentially meet a best-selling book on Amazon?
Could it be a New York Times bestseller?
Yeah. Could it come back and say, like, well, we think that if you change this character, based on what we see that's commonly written in the third person, like, I don't know. That's an interesting concept.
Yeah, we should do this.
What? Write a book with AI?
write a book or write a whole campaign.
Oh, I use it, dude. I use it a lot in Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
I use it on the fly in Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, I use it a lot. And you remember our campaign starter where you guys were like on the boat and there was the god at the helm of the boat and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
I wrote all that with AI. That's not in the campaign we're doing whatsoever.
It worked.
Yeah, I use it a whole lot. Matter of fact, I think it would be interesting to just don't even have a starting adventure. Like, let's just do ChatGPT D&D adventure and see where it goes. That might make an interesting podcast to do that.
Put in 4 adventures, blah, blah, blah.
Meet in a tavern.
They meet in a tavern, go.
Then what happens? All right,
It needs
well,
to involve dragons and orcs.
let's end this episode. This was fun for us. I hope it was fun
definitely.
to listen to, and let's get together sooner rather than later, David.
Yeah.
Let's read the let's read that screenplay and then get together after that.
Okay, yeah, definitely.
So-
Then we still got the chapters. I think the book, the Dark Tower book, will take a little bit longer because we still got a good bit to go. But
I'm at the end of the section I'm on, and I think what I'll do is I'll stop there and read and catch up on the Stormlight archive, and then we can do.
Once it gets to the actual chapters, they're fairly short. I mean, you can read them fairly quickly. So.
Okay, yeah, I'll try to do it tonight. The new WoW expansion just came out though, so that's going to cut into my reading time quite a bit. Although I got to tell you, I don't have it like I used to. The new WoW expansion came out, and I said, "Oh, I'm going to stay up all night playing it." At about 10 o'clock, I was like, "I'm too old. I can't do this anymore." This is not even fun to me the way it was whenever I was 20.
Right.
All right. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
See ya.